W.F. Howes presents an unabridged recording of Among the Trolls by Marianna Spring, narrated by Marianna Spring. Introduction. I was 5 years old when hijackers flew planes into the Twin Towers in New York on the 11th of September 2001. My mum collected me from school and told my teacher what a terrible day it was. As we walked home, I asked her what had happened. She explained how these aeroplanes had been flown into the towers on purpose. I kept asking her, was it an accident? To which she would reply, no. I couldn't get my head around how something like that could happen deliberately. It was terrifying. In the weeks and months that followed the attack, conspiracy theories about 9/11 proved very popular. Rather than spreading like wildfire on social media, they unfolded in chat rooms and on websites, via DVDs and talks. I often think back to that moment, partly because it explains a lot of why I wanted to become a journalist. I wanted to understand why bad things happen and reveal it to other people. And partly because it was my entry point into the world of conspiracy theories, somewhere I'm going to call Conspiracyland. We all, to some degree, want to make sense of the chaos around us. We want to be able to predict when people could cause harm. We want to be one step ahead of them. The way my 5-year-old brain couldn't understand the attack in some ways mirrors the mentality of the people who deny it ever happened, in spite of the evidence. We all find it difficult to make sense of, except the explanations spun by conspiracy theorists about 9/11 were much more complicated and much less innocent than my, well, maybe they didn't mean to. The people who believed and pushed these conspiracy theories were the founding fathers of Conspiracyland. It isn't a real place, of course. The only way inside is by falling down the rabbit hole. Not quite in the same way as in Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, where Alice chases after a flustered white rabbit with a pocket watch and finds herself in a whole new universe. You just have to venture into certain parts of the online world, and you'll find yourself tumbling very quickly. I've spent a lot of time exploring the UK's Conspiracyland in particular. Sometimes I've heard or read as many as 10 impossible things before breakfast. You'd be mistaken in thinking this is a universe limited to social media. It's a parallel world where everything is topsy-turvy. It has its own leaders, its own holiday retreats, its own protests, its own festivals, and its own media, from video channels to conspiracy theory newspapers. Everything you think you know, well, in Conspiracyland, it's the opposite.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?